The Berlin Wall's foundations were born from the rubble of World War II. When the Allies defeated Hitler's Third Reich, Germany lay in ruins. To ensure that it didn't rise again as a superpower, the destroyed country was divided up. The East went to the Soviets, and the West to France, Great Britain, and the United States. The country's capital, Berlin, situated in East Germany, was also split in two. The divisions were meant to be temporary, but Russian leader Joseph Stalin was planning a permanent land grab in Eastern Europe. World leaders were warned of dark days ahead.
An iron curtain has descended across the continent. Behind that line lie all the capitals of the ancient states of Central and Eastern Europe.
In 1952, the world's fears came true. The Soviet Union added barbed wire, trenches and barricades, sealing Eastern Europe behind a physical iron curtain nearly 7,000 kilometers long. Berlin became ground zero for the Cold War showdown. Foreign aid turned West Berlin into a thriving city with a strong economy. But just over the border, communism cast a shadow of paranoia and deprivation. Food was in short supply, leading to long lines and meager portions. The government pushed many citizens into jobs at huge factories or communal farms. And worst of all, the secret police, the Stasi, kept a close watch on the entire population. The Western world was horrified by the deadly mega barrier. But Cold War tensions were at fever pitch, and many thought demanding its destruction would spark World War III. But some Western leaders did speak out. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy arrived in West Berlin and, to a cheering crowd, declared American support for the city.
All free men, wherever they may live, are citizens of Berlin. And therefore, as a free man, I take pride in the words, Ich bin ein Berliner.
We thought it was kind of a corny political statement at the time, but we also recognized what it meant to the Berliners, that the Americans were going to stand by them forever.
Kennedy's speech rallied West Berlin, but across the wall, his words meant little. The East Germans were on their own, against a deadly megastructure. But the East German authorities had even bigger problems. A storm of public unrest was brewing in Eastern Europe, sparked by a speech from an American president. In Berlin, Ronald Reagan stood at the Brandenburg Gate, on the border between East and West.
Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
At the time, I thought it was bravado and it wouldn't mean anything, and was rather shocked at how well it worked. Nobody else had the nerve to say that directly and in public, tear it down.
But international pressure built up, and millions of people across the Soviet bloc began to demand more freedom. Inside East Germany, authorities tried to ignore the protests and even planned another upgrade to the Berlin Wall. This time, instead of using bullets and barbed wire, the wall would stop escapees with technology. The plans included automatic searchlights, guards with night vision goggles, and tiny sensors to detect border zone movement. But this wall would never be built. In the summer of 1989, the Iron Curtain began to crack. Communist Hungary opened its border with Austria, and thousands of East Germans fled west. Authorities scrambled to stop the flood of refugees.